The human body in 2026 is not the same human body that your grandparents had. Actually, it's not even the same body that your parents had. And I don't mean that in some kind of philosophical way. I actually mean that chemically and measurably. The composition of fat inside your body has literally shifted more than 136% during the last 50 years. Researchers recently also found 55 new chemicals inside baby cord blood that have never been seen in humans before. Think about this. These are babies. They have literally not even eaten anything, but they are finding new chemicals inside of them every single day. And the question is, when we are going to be made up of so many different chemicals that we really can't even call ourselves Homo sapiens anymore, but we will literally have to rename ourselves to some kind of different ways, because the compounds within our blood are increasingly becoming more and more man-made, and we are essentially becoming a new race, and that is probably the biggest experiment that has ever happened in human history, at least. This study came out last year, and it showed more than 3,600 chemicals from food packaging alone that are now detectable inside the human body. Meanwhile, we have some of the more known compounds like glyphosate, and recently they actually discovered glyphosate inside the blood of over 87% of children. And it has also been found in over 80% of adults in the Western world, so it's everywhere. And something that most people don't even know is that glyphosate is actually a patented antibiotic, which means it kills bacteria. It's registered right here under US patent number 7771736. There you can see they literally have a patent that this kills basically all life that it comes in contact with. So what you have is a chemical that has been designed to sterilize, and you have this in the gut of 90% of the population. Do you know what also happens in the gut? Well, basically everything. All our neurotransmitters, for example, are primarily produced in the gut. So guess what happens when major proportions of the population are being bombarded with glyphosate in their guts? Well, they're not going to produce the same neurotransmitters anymore, and that's why you will see epidemics like ADHD, autism, depression. These kinds of things are things that happen when these experiments are let loose on us in this way. Some people think it's just like a genetic lottery and everything, but there's a reason why these things are increasing and getting worse and worse. It's basically because we are in the middle of the craziest experiment in human history. Now, I have a young son, so I care a lot about the chemicals that are coming into his body from the food he's eating and everything. And I've been researching this for a long time, and I've been trying to think of ways to avoid it. And what I've discovered in all of this research is kind of horrifying, honestly, because the food manufacturers today are not even required to put over half of the toxic compounds that are in their products on the label. It's literally not found on there. For example, if you have a food manufacturer selling oats, they are not required to mention anything about the glyphosate levels in there. And also, if you have items on the ingredient list that are listed as natural flavors and everything, there's a very high chance that those compounds themselves have hidden chemicals behind them. And basically there are all these different legal loopholes that the food lobby and the pharma lobby and everything have put in place in order to be able to hide these different compounds within food for many different reasons. Some of them are to make the foods cheaper and more shelf stable so they can make more money. Some of them are put in there to make the food more addictive, and things like MSG and stuff can also be hidden inside these foods, which means that we are currently in almost an invisible war when we are picking food, and we are, whether we want to or not, part of this experiment. And that's exactly why I have developed a new app, and it's called ToxScan. And I'm trying to take what the food manufacturers are hiding inside your food and showing it to you and the world. So let me show you what I mean by that. So here you can see the app. It's called ToxScan. You can see it says scan a product to see if it's toxic. And it's basically one single button, and it allows you to scan any product that you find in the store. And you can see what toxins are in there, what are on the label, and also the toxins, more importantly, that are not on the label, it will reveal to you. So I actually have a product here. This is like a chocolate dipped pineapple snack, dried fruit with some dark chocolate. Most parents and people in general would look at this and maybe think, okay, it's cool, it says high fiber, there's some cacao and real fruit, and it's premium quality. They would probably deem that as a pretty good product. But let's try to see what happens when we actually scan this product. So we take the app here, scan product, and it comes up with this barcode interface where you can literally just scan the barcode. So we have the barcode there. I'm going to scan it. And you can see it analyzed it for a bit, and it actually gave it 38 out of 100 on the tox score. So that means caution. So you have to be careful with this one. It says, for example, destroys gut bacteria. There's heavy metals in here, and there's even added sugar. So it's not even just dried fruit. They literally added sugar to this. And when you press the details button, you can see some details on everything. So it says here, sodium metabisulfite is a chemical preservative that acts like an antibiotic in your gut, killing beneficial bacteria your child needs for immune function and nutrient absorption. The dark chocolate contains heavy metal contamination risk, and added sugar feeds harmful bacteria, and so on and so forth. And you can read more here. You can see most of the negative compounds in this are coming from the sodium metabisulfite, which is a known antimicrobial, again, that will kill the gut bacteria in your gut and in your child's gut and so on. So this is a terrible option if you're looking for a snack for your children. And this will literally increase the amounts of glyphosate they will uptake through their gut lining and everything. It's a terrible option. And most people would just think this would be some pineapples and some chocolate. But as you can see, there are so many different things in here. And that's basically how this app works. It's supposed to help you out when you're shopping, to show you the things that the food manufacturers themselves are not showing you. Because what they care about is making money. They do not care about you knowing every single thing about their product. So that's what I'm trying to bring through this app. And this was just one single example, but you can take a look at pretty much any product in the grocery store. It will flag products that have high amounts of glyphosate, for example, such as non-organic oats, and many other things, such as heavy metals, and whatever you want to avoid can be avoided using this app. So I've been working a lot on this app, and I really hope you find it interesting and want to try it out. And I really want to hear your feedback. I really want you to start using it. You can find it in the App Store right now. And I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback, and I hope it helps to protect you and your family against what is the greatest experiment in human history, in my opinion. Try the ToxScan app on App Store and let me know what you think.